Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Never's Nephilim. I too can grow hair that long, but do I want to? We're kicking things off with a shuffler special. All we really need to do is draw a single land, and this could carry us through the early game. I think I'd feel more comfortable about this if the plains were a forest or island. Mull. Then we get a 3-lander with all 4 mana cards and higher. Well, we've picked our poison. This will have to do. Keep your hopes up. We'll send the Ouroboroid on down. We'll want to focus on defensive cards and ramp. We draw a 4th land, which will let us fire off our frontier, and we should be set for lands through the mid-game. They play out a Possessed Goat, a 1/1 for now, but it can be pumped when they have 3 mana available. We draw a talent, and that will be our play. We can match their 1/1 with our Otter token. They fire off a Revelation. They're likely going to be on Demon Reanimator. We come prepared with Exile Sweepers just in case of big men cheaty face. We see you, bro. That was a Faithful, the reanimation guy that was sent to the grave in case you missed it. We draw another talent, which is good, but this turn we want to ramp and make sure we have the mana we need to fire off a sweeper. Let's be prepared in case we need it. We know they're going to try to bring the pain, so we'll go in for hits. We're fine trading blows with their goat. We control the men on board. They play out a bandit's talent, so they've even brought discard along to make things difficult. This is easy for us, though. We can toss a sweeper since we can get it back with our talents. They fire off another Revelation and toss more cards in the yard. Let's take a look at what's in there. Are we surprised? No, we are not. We draw a stock up, and that could be the fuel we need. A Horn of Plenty is always good, and then a land is probably a great grab. The more mana, the better. Let's send in our Swollen Otter. They don't want none and block up. We'll hold what we got. We don't want any damages from their talent if we can avoid it. We draw another Cornucopia, but this turn we want to get back our stock up and dig for more ammo. Out of these, I like the Bounce and another land. The Procession would be great too. If they cheat anything into play, we can bounce it right back to their hand. We're fine making this trade. A clear board is better for us anyways. Even people who are asleep right now could see that coming. They get back a Bahama Mama and use it to snipe the talent we leveled up once. Probably should have sniped the other one. We'll go ahead and bounce their mama back to hand. Thanks for coming on the big show. We'll smell you later. We'll level up our talent and grab our stock up yet again. Out of these, I do like the stock up, and if we grab the forest, we can drop in the second Cornucopia. We might go the whole way with this Otter token. Get in there, little fella. They fire off an ultima to take out our otter and the cornucopias. We'll miss the life gain, but they've failed to land any threats, so we're fine even after losing our artifacts. We'll level up our talent. We'll generate otters with every instant and sorcery. Let's stock up. I've lost track of how many times we've fired one off. A procession is always good, especially with some of the stuff we have in our grave. But let's grab the stock up and the sage. The sage can take out their talent, so we won't have that worry about. They burn a removal on our otter token and use it to toss their Bahama Mama back in the grave. And there's the zombify we knew they had to have. They'll take out our talent, but on our turn we can clear out their board as well. Fair is fair. They play out a stoppable slasher. We haven't seen it yet, but I bet they run the bloodletter also. With stock up, we're never out of action. And that's another stock up. Another talent is pretty sweet too. More back from the grave action than our reanimator opponent. This stock up shows us 4 lands and an Ouroboroid. We'll take the forest here, but there's really no wrong choice. We'll hold what we got. There's no reason to leave ourselves vulnerable to a pair of removals. They snipe the tapeworm, something that happens all the time. It doesn't survive for long. They play out a star cage to deal with our otter. What did we say about the double removals? They send in the slasher, hoping to schloop the snoop, but we'll block up. The slasher has been stopped. We draw a bounce for additional security against enemy men. For now, we'll get back our stock up. Out of these, I like the Horn of Plenty. And a procession, finally. We still have mana to fire off the frontier, so we'll grab a pair of lands. This turn goes to our Horn of Plenty, then we'll level up the talent to get otter tokens. I think you only need one guess to figure out what we're getting back with the procession. Finally, there's a Doppelgang. We'll take it in the Sunborn as well. It took them all this time to get to 7 mana. Hilarious. They could have gotten themselves something juicy, but they are tapped out. We'll bounce their stoppable slasher at the end of their turn. We can hit them with otters and deserts on our turn. They poop it and scoop it. GG's, extra otter token cheese. This is Gil. He likes holding his last arrow in his teeth and doing the cha-cha-cha. We get a 3-lander this time, no early bounce, and our earliest play will be on turn 3, but this isn't horrible. Keep your pants on. Our first draw is a stock up, and that catapults our hand into the very solid range. They play out a weapons manufacturing. Really, bro? I heard the best colors for that were red and white. They play out a cryogenic relic, and that will get them their first munitions token, as well as draw. We'll nail their manufacturing with our Sage. Having played a manufacturing deck, we know their key piece. At least they're being smart and playing the extruder as well. They drop in an Enigma Jewel, and in that deck it is as good as a Sol Ring. We're going with the Horn of Plenty this turn. With any luck, it will mean plenty of life for us. They drop in a Duplicator, endless munitions for only 2 mana. I'm sure they're screaming, yes, yes, please. They sacrifice their relic to get a Golem and a draw. If we could get our Sage back, it would probably be game over, but we'd have to be able to make copies right away while they're tapped. For this turn, we'll play out the Tapeworm, and maybe we'll get lucky to see it stay on board. We could get the Sage back with the Virtue, but let's not freak them out just yet. They play out a Candy Trail. It's their countermeasure to Shuffler specials. They sacrifice it right away for some draw, and they pay the duplication cost as well. They give up their Golem for an artifact removal. That could be their downfall. We might be able to use their removal against them. We draw a Frontier, and that's perfect. We do need to grab more lands. Our power comes from the overwhelming amounts of mana we can generate to power out huge, back-breaking Doppels. They're playing with their food. Not applying any pressure is a critical mistake. It doesn't matter what they play if we're able to build up without having enemy men breathing down our backs. We draw a talent, and we have everything we need to pop off. For now, we'll fire off our stock up. Out of these, we'll take the Procession and score a land. The talent is up next. Having 1 in play when we doppel is always a huge boost. Then we'll level up our talent. Getting the stock up is usually the way to go, but in this case we want our manas, so we'll take the Frontier. Another artifact removal takes care of our Otter token. As long as we keep the talent in play, that's all that matters. It's time for the preliminary setup. We need to get this Virtue down. Triple the mana from our basics is a huge boost. Then we can fire off the frontier and dig up more basics to fuel our future Doppel. More shenanigans from the opponent, but all this doesn't end up with us dead. I'm just surprised they didn't go for the endless munitions into golems trick. Maybe they don't even know about that. Yeah, Boros is the way to go with that deck. It's time to Doppel. We can bring the hammer down with a Doppel for 6. They have a 3 steps ahead for our Doppel, but we can do this all again next turn, thanks to the procession. And we have a second talent to play out, which can also get us the Doppel back for another go. They use the vault to dig 8 cards deep. They might be grabbing another counter or possibly a manufacturing. And another extruder with only 1 mana left. First thing first, let's get our Doppel back. Then we can fire it off for 5. We'll copy our talent, the virtue, and their artifact removal. We'll be getting 5 copies of it to start, and maybe more later. And copy a forest and island for more mana. And now we get to snipe their reliquary. We've got so much mana now, the ward is silly. We'll take an extruder, then we'll take the second one. Just make sure you don't select the same one twice. And we'll snag the duplicator. With 1 more left, we can take one of their munitions tokens, I guess. I mean, the rest of their stuff is junk. They give us the GGs and scoop it. We hit them with too much cheese. Extra cheese. This is Norv Turner. We know who you are, bro. We get a 3-lander with a Horn of Plenty as our likely first play of the game. With 1 more land, we can fire off the sweeper as early as turn 4. That will have to be what does it for this hand. Keep your pants on. They drop in a Gruul Desert. Now we know how that feels when we do it to the opponent. They go without a play on their second turn. We're happy to see it. We have some time to get ourselves set up. We draw a bounce, so we have our early defensive measure available if we need it. They play out a Flesh Burrower. That sounds creepy as all heck. We'll play out our Horn of Plenty and still have our bounce available. They play out a Ruby, a hasty mana guy. They follow up with an Abrade on our Cornucopia. That does tap them out so we can bounce their 2/2 and avoid taking 3 when they swing in. The burrower comes back, eager for seconds. Ruby does hit us for another point, but it's her mana ability that we're most concerned about. We draw another sweeper, which is going to be our play. Let's slow their roll. We'll procession back our Horn of Plenty. If they're trying to knock us off with men, we want to be able to build up our life total. It's pressure of a different sort. They fire off a pick your poison, and we have to sacrifice our Horn of Plenty. But if that's all they do, then we're perfectly fine. We get a Frontier, and that's a perfectly fine replacement for the Cornucopia we lost. They drop in a Scavenging Ooze. It's a threat to eat our grave and take out all the cards we'd love to use again. They have a very real fear of the Cornucopia, apparently. That's fine, we have 3 more in the deck. They warp in an Elite to pump their Ooze. A 4/4 is definitely a threat. We draw a bounce, and we can send their Ooze back to their hand. All that pump action will be lost. Let me guess, the Ooze? Instead of playing out the Elite, they fire up their manland. Well, if they want to battle it out, let's get the Sunborn in there. Let's battle, get those big boy pants a turn in the arena. They drop in an Ouroboroid, but before it does anything, we'll bounce it. They don't have the mana to replay it this turn. Now we know why they're running the Elite, and why they hate us gaining life. We draw a talent. All we need now is a Doppel, and we can shoot them in the face with hundreds of otters. Bro doesn't know what to do against otters. They are totally confused. That's a brawler they plotted out. Brawler and Ouroboroid are a good partnership. They burn a removal on one otter. Love to see it. If they can't block this angel, it will be all we need. We should have played it out earlier. They play out the Brawler, and I'm certain the Ouroboroid is next. Those are some beefy men you got there. It would be a shame if something happened to them. Their last card is a removal. That's fine. We were going to clear the board anyways, and this way we can get our angel back if we need it. But their men won't be able to come back. We draw a stock up, that's perfect. But first, let's clear out these enemy men. Smell you later, girls. We'll take the talent up a level and get our procession back. We can use that to get back our angel. They drew into a behemoth. It's only a 5/5, but it does have haste. We draw another sweeper, but it's not worth using it on their behemoth. Let's go with our stock up to start. Well, that's another stock up and a virtue. More mana means more power. We can use the virtue to get back a passage, and that can fetch us out another land. Our second stock up shows us another talent and their favorite card, a Horn of Plenty. We have to take the Cornucopia. We can play both of them out. The Otter token will make an excellent blocker since their huge guy doesn't even have trample. They finally play out the elite. Now they've got a couple of big men worth clearing out. It must be so frustrating to think you've got a board only to see it cleared out. Rip enemy men. We have to grab that Cornucopia, and the procession will be awesome as well. A Tyvar, how nice, bro. He goes well along with all your other men. Oh, wait. The time has come for our virtue to rule the board. Let's tap all non-basics and our horns first. Then we can take a talent up a level and get back a stock up. Before we fire it off, let's take a talent to level 3 for the Otter tokens. Think of the otters. That's another stock up, and there's a Doppel as well. This is going to be GG's, they just don't know it yet. We'll take the talent and the Ouroboroid. We still have the mana to play out the tapeworm and pump our team. All we need to do now is make about 7 copies of the tapeworm, and that should seal the deal. They activate their manland. Are they really going to send it? Did they forget they are at 8 life? They send in Tyvar, but why activate the land? Oopsie poopsie, bro. We'll gang block and take him out. That smells like GG's. They poop it and scoop it, so no token cheese, but it was coming. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.